Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Can you all unmute yourself? Can you? No? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure what kind of a setting they have had. So if you have any questions, you should be able to speak. All right. So I have only a couple of questions, and I do not know if the person who has sent the questions are here. I think Pooja ji is here, I believe. She had one of the questions, so we will take her question first, and then we'll go from there. Pooja ji?
Yes, Hari Om. Hari Om.
Yes, let me first read her question, and then I will speak to it. She says, the Lord speaks about Brahma Bhuta as a state before moksha, where one has, through Viveka and Vairagya, reached a state of joy. And then in verse 56, he speaks about Krishna state of perfection. Is this Krishna state of perfection the next stage after Brahma Bhuta, or the two the same? Can you please tell us the difference? Is it the extent of the play of divine consciousness or something else too? Okay, that is her question. All right. Now, couple of points. The Brahma Bhuta that is talked about in the 54th verse is from Paramarthika Drishti, this seeker who through, as you have mentioned, through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, etc., he has established himself in Brahman. He has that Jnana Nishtha. He has gained the knowledge. He also has gotten abidance in Brahman. So, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. See, he is Brahman. So that is the state that is described in verse 54. And then his description is given: prasannatma, na shochati, na kangshati, samasarveshu bhuteshu, madbhaktim labate param. So such a jnani who has jnana nishta, he is a prasannatma. He is an embodiment of ananda, so he's ever cheerful. Na shochati, na kangshati. He doesn't grieve. He doesn't have all these desires. So all that is gone. He is Brahman. He is full. So he has no desires. Okay. Samasarveshu bhuteshu. He has this universal outlook. So this is all a description of a Brahmajnani. Okay. Now, when we come to verse 56, actually, when we study this 18th chapter, which is a summary, okay, Bhagwan goes back and forth a lot of. He has again reinforced two main points, which is Bhagavad Gita is all about: Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So the 56 was after talking about Jnana in verse 50 through 55. 56, he again recaps Karma Yoga. So the way you should interpret 56 is from the Karma Yoga angle. And Poojaji, you've used some terminology like, Krishna consciousness and all that. So we have to be a little bit careful. The Bhagavad Gita has been interpreted from various standpoints.
Sorry, Anantji, I used the term that Pujya Gurudev has used in his Holy Gita, in his commentary. I did not coin any new term.
It's okay. No, I'm not.
So it's the same term that's actually written in the
Holy Gita. Got it.
Yeah, in his commentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't refer to that.
Yeah.
So sometimes the same wordings the Dvaitins use. They have a very different in our interpretation, we are following the Advaita Siddhanta. So that's one thing that we need to keep in mind. So some and Gurudev has used. I mean, these are freely used back and forth. To sometimes when students come to this class, they come with that background, or they do not even have Gurudev's commentary. They bring whatever editions that they have, books that they have. Sometimes that leads to a lot of confusion. So we need to be. That's one thing I wanted to highlight in case that was an issue. Clearly, you've said Gurudev has used that. So the way I say it, this going back and forth between Karma Yoga discussions, he has even within 18th chapter, he has done it so many times. At least 3 times he has gone back to Karma Yoga. So here it is another recap. So Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano mad vyapashitra mad prasad avapnoti shashvatvam padam avyayam. Shashvatam padam avyayam. Here he is actually talking about the Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi, etc., which are hallmarks of Karma Yoga. And he has made the statement, Bhagwan has said, such a person gains his knowledge and abidance and everything. That's the thought development here. So although the emphasis is on Karma Yoga, he also has given the phalam and the subsequent step of Jnana Yoga. So here again, this he is talking about Krishna as the Sachidananda Brahman only. from the Paramarthika, not the, definitely not the Saguna Sakara Krishna Avatara, as some of the other interpretations hold. That is one thing that that should be very clear. And so the answer to your question is yes, they are one and the same only. Paramatma, Krishna Paramatma is what's talked about. If at all you want to use that terminology, and Gurudev has used that only from that standpoint. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, then there was one more question. Let me pull it up. Luckily, the person who asked that question is here. The last time I had this, people who asked the questions were not there, at least initially. So it's good to have Lalita ji had asked this. She says, as we have various roles in our daily life, sometimes dharma may be contradictory to each other's, or we are lack of energy to fulfill all of them. So what should be the right attitude for us when facing such dilemma? Okay. Before I answer that question, let me throw this question open to everyone, because it's a very practical question she has asked. What do you think? Sometimes, as she has put it, correct only, there are conflicting demands on us. We all play multiple roles. We all have a career, we have responsibility in the family. As a spouse, we have responsibility. As parents, we have responsibility. And then the children also, they have a responsibility. So she's bringing up this issue. What do you think?
Hari Om, Anandji. I think referring to what you said earlier to my question, it's Ishwar Arpana Buddhi. If you're sincere in your practice and you do your duty or you do your actions based on what you think is your priority, and then you just dedicate it to the Lord, and that will take care of it itself. He knows the sincerity and he recognizes. So that's what I would think my answer to that question.
Good. Excellent answer. Yes. Very good. Anything else anybody else want to add? Speak up. We are all among friends now. Okay.
No, I like her answer. I agree. So,
That's a very good answer. That's very good answer.
everything given to
perfect
God.
answer. Correct.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
How about a little bit? That's a fairly high level answer. Someone who has studied this would give that answer. Who've been studying, absorbing this material. How about something on a more practical level? What would you do? It will be nice if we can invoke this knowledge at every moment. But we don't, right? We know, but we do something else. So when that happens, how would you do that? What do you think? Lalita ji, can you give me a little bit more specific example?
Tôi không biết thôi à.
Sẽ hỏi cái này cần chạy.
Nhưng rồi, ok. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
A simple example doesn't. You don't have to get too personal if you have difficulty. It doesn't have to be. Okay, just some practical examples so we can focus on what exactly you're referring to.
I got married and I have my own family,
Yes.
and sometimes my own mother, she need me to take care of her, and I also have my own duties in my home, so I will very tired, and sometimes I'm confused whether I should take care mother first or take care my home first. This is sometimes I arise this question.
Yes, very, very good example. You come up with a very good example. What they call, one more thing, sandwich generation, they call. You have a responsibility for your parents and you're taking care of your children also. And this has just, the magnitude of this has increased in current day and age. On top of everything, at least in the good old days, everybody was in the same place. They didn't move out. Now we are spread all across the globe. And then the sons and daughters are in America, Australia, Europe, what have you. The parents are here and they are getting up in age. And so the children, they want to take care of them, want to help them, but physically they cannot. And the parents also have issues, Somebody who has spent all their lifetime in India, for instance, to go and get situated in America is not easy. Their social structure is gone, and children feel bad, parents feel bad. That is true. Mm-hmm. And so, practically, you do your best. It's a practical matter. You have to take care of your parents, the elderly, etc., as best as possible. And I have had a lot of different people handle it differently. All of them are good. I've had some of my friends who were in the US, and they decided to relocate back to India to be with their parents. And of course, when your children are really young, that may not be an option. Actually, I should say, if they're really, really young, 5 or 6 years old, it's not a problem. But when they are 12, 13, 14, that's a different issue. That's not possible. And if they are adults, they are on their own, then you can. So some of them have done that. Some of them, they made arrangements so that their parents are well taken care of. And some of them have brought them over and they are staying there, making their stay as comfortable as possible. So you do the best you can. And as Poojaji was mentioning, in all that, if there is an underlying idea, that whatever I am doing, I am not seeing my parents as parents with all, I am seeing the Lord has come in the form of my parents. I am seeing Bhagavan, he has come in the form of my spouse or children. So whatever I do for them is Ishwara Arpana. That's what Poojaji was referring. So if you can, initially you have to do it very deliberately. Then as you go on practicing this, this is the Karma Yoga part. That comes very natural to you. then all these conflicts will come down naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, then there are, practical, just like other things, even people who have not have this spiritual education, they would come say, practicing psychologists, etc. They have very good ideas also. You negotiate. You negotiate with your spouse, you negotiate with your parents, and come up with some good compromises. These are practical. I mean, this is not philosophical. This is not the spiritual angle. Spiritual angle is what Poojaji said. And when you practice that, the very purpose of Karma Yoga is to purify your mind. So you will get clarity. You will not have so many conflicts. All these conflicts will start coming down.
Yes, thank you.
Poojaji, you have a comment?
Hari Om, Anandji. I just, for Lalita ji, I just wanted to also say, I'm a leadership and life coach. And I think it's sometimes, especially as women, we tend to be perfectionists and we tend to give our everything to everyone all the time. And it's important for us to fill our own buckets too before we can give to people. So it's important to draw one's boundaries, not in a selfish way, but in a way that if we take care of ourselves, we are better equipped to take care of our loved ones around us. So I just wanted to say that one small point as well to Lalita ji. Hari Om.
Well said, well said. As they say, put on your seatbelts before you put the seatbelt on for your children. Yeah. Very good, very good.
Good idea. Thank you. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Although you've not submitted any questions, if anything else you want to bring up, feel free to do so.
Hari Om, Anandji. As I opened my book, I saw that I had written a question which I must have forgotten to ask in the. I don't remember what the question exactly was, but I've written here in verse 48, Bhagwan says that all endeavors are flawed in some respect. So rather than look at one's action, look towards the Lord unto whom we are dedicating the action. So apparently that was said in verse 48. But I think the question that I had here was, if it's the Lord, we would want to dedicate only the very best. So then wouldn't we have to look at the action to see indeed, is it the very best? So that's my question.
See, what is saying there is, one, any of our action is flawed in the sense, it may not be major flaw, nothing, as humans, we have our limitations. So when we act, there will be some imperfections. That will be there. That's what he's saying. And so, just like in our the pujas, etc., that we do, at the end of it, what we say, there might have been many flaws in what I have done. So, oh Lord, you make it right. That is there in every puja that we do. Same idea only. So one of the things I would suggest very, earnestly is, don't have too much apprehensions about whether I'm doing the best for the Lord. Then be in the moment, all that, you've heard a lot about that. When you start having second thoughts, am I doing, should I have done it better? etc., etc., then it brings down your efficiency in action. So naturally, when someone is moving on this path, that kind of dedication is already there. So you will be doing your best. So don't you have that in an absolute this thing from a different point? For example, if you ask me to sing, okay, I'm a lousy singer. I cannot, for $1 million, I cannot carry a tune. Okay, I know that. Okay, but I get inspired to sing a bhajan, let us say, and I take off. I am definitely doing my best. Okay, somebody else, even having no music knowledge, he's not a rasika at all, no appreciation of music. What is this fellow? He would say, but from my vantage point, I'm doing my best. That's the point. That God dedication, and Bhagavan takes that. There are so many stories in Puranas and actually in people's lives. There is one saint from the south. He was a hunter. He didn't know any better. And the Lord wanted to test him, the Shivalinga. From that eye, blood was flowing. And this fellow went in there. And he was offering what? Meat to Shivji as Naivedyam, And then he tried to, and he had all this food in his hand, and he was feeling so much, pain in his heart. How to stop that bleeding? So he took his foot, the big toe, and then tried to stop the bleeding. Would you touch Shivlinga with your foot? But where is it coming from? Devotion is there. Not like that. Once you start developing this love and then etc., everything will fall into place. That is why that Ishvara Arpana, the dedication to the Lord, is emphasized very much. Okay, anything else? Okay, I will ask you all a few questions. How about that? Just to pick your brains. Now, this is the 18th chapter. 18th chapter is the summary, concluding summary, covered the entire. So at the end of this, what is the message of Gita? What are two main points that are covered here?
I can only say what comes to mind, in the part is do your duty, but it's also, give it all to God. It's like, it's God, it's all God's doing. I mean, we're just expressions of that, so, sometimes we're even asked to be a fool. God, it could be that the appearance is such that others will not even like us, just that we just have to trust that God knows best, this is what's going on, so I mean, that's been my situation, just
good.
I give
Good.
up, The
That
gives
is
up. Yeah.
that is definitely mentioned. Nimitta matram bhavasabhyasachan. I am just an instrument in God's hands. That point is covered. Good. But what I am asking is a little bit different. What is, if you have to, that is one aspect, but what is the main thrust? Main thrust.
Is it the Advaita philosophy that there is just me and everything is in and through me? And so pull away the veil covering the ignorance and wake up. Is it that?
See, the one problem with that kind of analysis is there's so many great acharyas who have interpreted Gita as Dvaitins, Vishishtadvaitins, and all that. That is why we have so much. So that cannot be the main thing. Think a little bit harder. Now, what is it that we chant at the end of each chapter? At the end of each, after covering all the verses, what is the two lines that we chant? Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, somebody read it aloud. None of you have a Gita book with you?
I actually don't have it in front of me.
Okay, don't worry about it. I will say this phrase is there. Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. In that, you will see these two phrases. Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. So these two, this is the main teaching. It covers these two. Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. Self-knowledge. Jnana. And then the other thing is Yoga Shastra. That yoga is, the word yoga, that means Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. These are the two main topics. Of course, Brahma Vidya, that knowledge, Atma Jnana, is the most important. And before you can embark upon Jnana Yoga, you need to have Jnana Yogyata. You must be fit to get that Jnanam. So the preparation part of it, the preparation is through Karma Yoga. So the two main points, two aspects, two important things that are emphasized in Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga and Jnana. That we should not forget. Quite often, when people, Karma Yoga is talked about a lot. Karma Yoga, second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter. Of course, Jnanam is also talked about. And Jnanam is the main thrust because when Arjuna surrendered to the Lord, take me as your student and tell me definitely as to what I should do now. He had his nervous breakdown and he wanted, what should I do now? You tell me very clearly. Bhagwan could have said, go fight this war. No more questions. Go do it. He didn't say that. What did he do? He went on to give him Atmajnana, verse 12 through 25 in the second chapter. It's all about Atmajnana. So, Brahma Vidya, Atmajnanam, that is the main topic. If I force you to give me only one, that is it. I asked you to give two. And this also we must remember, because and Arjuna himself asked this question. Oh, you're talking about gloriously about knowledge, and you're asking me to act. What gives? He was asking all that. So the second, this thing, karma yoga part, which is the preparation. So once you understand this, you will have a little bit more clarity. Otherwise, you hear about so many things. So many yogas are talked about. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, ashtanga yoga. So sometimes we get confused. In bhakti is also talked about. This one chapter devoted, 12th chapter, bhakti yoga it's called. Then dhyana. Some people just take to meditation. But we should understand what meditation is all about. So in that, if you get this message very clearly, the thrust is on preparation and then execution. The execution part of it is gaining knowledge. That is the main thing. So you have to implement acquisition of knowledge. That is the Jnana Yoga part. And to do that, you need preparation. And that is the Karma Yoga part. And then you have to very clearly understand what all Karma Yoga, of course, a simple definition of that is the bhavana, the attitude with which you perform karma. The attitude behind the action is what makes that karma into Karma Yoga. And that attitude is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Very good. Now, when we say that, that Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi, Prasada is gift from the Lord only. So there, this bhakti aspect of it is already there. The devotion part of it, so you don't have to carve it out. In Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is part of Karma Yoga. So you don't, and just by devotion, by that alone, that will not be sufficient. But actually, when you interpret it, when you understand it very clearly, that Bhakti is also part of Karma Yoga. You cannot separate. Karma Yoga cannot be there. This is where people, some people, I do selfless work. Don't bring God into it. People are suffering, I serve them selflessly. And they do. I'm not saying they do not. But they don't have this, so that they are not going to make spiritual progress. That will help them. At the end of the day, then they will have a lot of issues. The very people whom they serve, they turn around and criticize them for what they do. So the shoka will not be removed. Shoka nivritti is very important. In one of the verses we talked of. Na shochati, na kankshati. So that will, you may be working very selflessly. Lot of people do. They are very dedicated in that work. But if this aspect of devotion is not there, they're just serving the people. They need to good, nothing wrong. But this spiritual progress will not be there to the extent that we want. So that bhakti. And take Ashtanga Yoga. Wonderful discipline. Wonderful discipline. There again, what is it meant for? We should have a very clear understanding. That is not an alternate path to acquisition of knowledge. The eighth step is they have stilled their mind. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they've reached. Okay? The mind is calm, quiet, thoughtless in everything. As long as they are there in that state, it's good. The moment they come out, same old, same old. Whereas a man of realization, he has Adyanta Dukkha Nivritti has happened. For this Ashtanga yogi who has reached Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he has to be there all the time. And that's not feasible. But this Jnani, he has Sagaja Samadhi as he lives in the world. And we have seen descriptions of Jivan Mukta Lakshana and all that. So the thrust is Jnanam, and to prepare that is Karma Yoga. So these two are the main points. So you keep that in mind. Quite often that is forgotten. Either people focus only on Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is very important. And again, we need to know what exactly it entails. Meditation, that's another thing. Dhyana. Okay? Wonderful discipline. But people jump into meditation and you ask them, what are you meditating upon? They don't know. Meditation does not give you knowledge. What is the role of Nididhyasanam? That we should understand. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam removes Viparita Bhavana. The knowledge is gained in Shravanam. And if your mind is pure, that Shravana itself is good. But for most people, we need additional work. That is why the 3-step discipline is talked about: Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So, Shravana removes the ignorance. We don't know what the Shastra and Guru they're talking about. And at the end of good listening, you will know. Then Mananam, any doubts, etc., are removed. You have conviction in that knowledge. But then our Janmandra vasanas are there. You know this is the truth. This is the knowledge. You know I am Brahman. But when it comes to acting in this world, I don't act like Brahman. That is what is called Viparita Bhavana. Old habits are there. Janmantra vasanas that showing up as these habits, that has to be removed. And that is what is removed through Nididhyasana, meditation, what we call meditation. But then this word meditation has taken its own. So we have to be careful. Dhyana Yoga is one of these chapters. But meditation is not just the main thrust. It is important to remove the Viparita Bhavana. So like that, when we study Gita, we must have a good handle on what it is. Anything else? Now let me ask you one more question. You know this famous verse, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. One of the most popular verses. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. What Bhagavan says? Give up all dharmas. What does it mean? Give up dharmas and take to adharma? What do you think? What do you think? Speak up. I'm waiting. Clearly, that cannot be. Right?
May I try?
Please do.
Giving up the identification of the lower self. Is it?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, you're on the right track. Yes, correct only. Right.
During we do our work according to our Dharma, with this attitude, we have no attachment to the lower self, and then we get more closely to the higher self. And is it right?
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
This is a journey. This
Yes.
is a journey.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. See, when he says sarva dharman parityajya, that means, as you said, giving up deha abhimana, the lower, as you put it. Now, this dharma and adharma, etc., that all belongs to this body, mind, etc. So, when he says, give that up, that identification is what you need to give up. And then mamekam sharanam braja. Identify with the Dehi, the Atma, the real Krishna. That is the point. Sarva dharman paritijya means you've taken the dharma of the anatma as you. Dharma, adharma, all that belongs to the not self, not to you. So give that up. That is what is. And here when Bhagavan says Mamekam, me, he's talking from the absolute as Brahman. Identify with the highest reality. That's what the meaning is. Correct. What you said is perfect. Yes.
Thank you.
Good. One of the points he has covered in this section, I think this Q&A is supposed to cover from verse 41 to the end of the chapter. I've covered more than that, but that's okay. The overall summary, which is fine. But in this particular section, there is a discussion about the Chaturvarnyam. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Shudra. There is one verse that he has talked about. Any of you have any thoughts about that? Because this is the much aligned caste system in India. Has come under sharp criticism. I want to make sure you understand what is said in this Varna Dharma. Anybody have any thoughts about it? What do you understand as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Shudra? What they are and how they are misunderstood. there are a lot of silent spectators. I'd like to hear from them. This classification can be done from various standpoints. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya and Shudra classification. First of all, we need to understand this very simple idea only. This classification is a natural classification. They have observed people and their behavior, their qualities, etc., etc. And based on that, the Shastra has put them in 4 different buckets. That's all. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. So this is not based on birth. One criteria could be based on birth. And another norm is based on your qualities. What is the quality of that person? So, Guna Brahmana, Guna Kshatriya, Guna Vaisya, based on quality. And then karma. Karma, what profession that person is pursuing. And of course, birth. So here, Bhagavan has very clearly said, even in the 4th chapter, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashah. So this classification is only on the basis of guna and karma. Character, quality, and karma, profession. That's all. Birth does not play into that at all. Jati Brahmana. Jati is by birth. It is not at all. And this is the misunderstanding. Unfortunately, not only outsiders have this, even Indians themselves do not understand this properly. They still go through jati only. No. Now, someone who was born a Brahmana, he could become a Vaishya, depending upon his quality, characteristics, and profession. Similarly, a Shudra can be a Brahmana. Nothing precluding them. It's nothing great about being one or the other, because the society needs them all. When you look at the profession, the Brahmanas are thinkers, planners, teachers. That kind of profession is considered a Brahmanic profession. Kshatriya, administrators, those who execute, the rulers, governing. That is the Kshatriya. And Vaisyas are resource generators, So they get into business. They form the economic activity in the society. And then all the work needs to be done by somebody. So the workers. Okay. So if you think about anything, for example, if you want to build a house, the architects, etc., they come up with the design, with a plan and everything. They are the brains behind it. And then you need a general contractor who needs to manage everything. So many aspects to that building. He coordinates everything. And of course, you need the banks Who builds houses these days with their money? They got to borrow. Or you should work, save money to build the house. At that time, you are a Vaishya, resource generator. Same with society. And then actually, the people who build the houses. So a simple activity like that has these four aspects to it. A society, a nation, everywhere these four classifications are there. That is all to it. Nothing more than that. That we have, the Indian society has made a mess of it. We have to take responsibility for the mess that has been created, but we don't have to perpetuate it. We should have a very clear understanding. And others who challenge, criticize, we should be able to talk to them and let them know their understanding is not quite right. Very important. That's also one of the, he has reviewed that. He has revisited that in the 18th chapter, 41 verse. He's talked about that. Okay, let us see. Okay. Right. Anything else? Just about time to wrap up. Has this session been useful?
Clarify me some.
Very good, very good, very good. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. If there are no further questions, we will wrap it up. Purnamadaः Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Hari Om. Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.